And this is what you're going to learn to do today is your own assistant connected in this case to Telegram that answer all your client questions 24/7. Imagine you're going to stop wasting or you're going to save your clients time on their projects or in their business through an assistant that provides all the information and answers all the questions the clients have about their products. I want you to see how incredible powerful this is. It even has the ability to send links, give information, send the company's policies, check a database to check your status of your order. And well, we can train this however you like. And today you're going to learn it. I want to remind you that if you want to receive these and other workflows in full, you can do so by accessing the community. The link is here below. And in addition, you have a step-by-step document so that you can develop this project and start getting results today. So that you don't miss this, we're going to do it in two systems. Step number one is going to be create a vector base like the one you're going to see right now. Well, this is super simple with this vector database. This will be the brain of our agent. Each file that we add, for example, to Google Drive will be read and uploaded to a vector database, which will feed our agent's database. I was telling you that will be developed in two systems. The system A, which is this, is going to be in charge of uploading the information to our vector base that we are going to use Pinecone. And our system B, okay, our system B, our system A is going to be the brain, and our system B is going to be the medium by which we are going to communicate it with the world with which our end user is going to interact. Okay, in this case it's going to be through Telegram, but we can completely connect it to our website. For example, in WordPress we can connect it in, I don't know, for example, WhatsApp. In this case we are going to do it in Telegram, and let me know if you would like to us to connect it to other platform. Okay, ready, let's start. Perfect. Okay, our first step is we want it connected to Google Drive. Okay, what we're going to do is add a Google Drive node. Okay, Google Drive, and we are going to select this. We are going to select on changing a specific folder. Why? Now we are going to set up it. We are going to mount what is the structure, and we are going to set little by little. We want that every time a document is uploaded to a specific folder, the next step will be download that document. We are going to choose this node to share to our vector base, and that for this case we will use Paintcomp. And we add this node, we add document to vector store. And now we are going to set up everything, and let's do it so that you don't miss any detail and you can do it with me from your home. Okay, this needs some documentation and a commitment model. So for the embedding we will use OpenAI, and now we are going to set up everything together. Okay, and some documentation. For this we are going to use the default data loader, which will be this, and this asks us for a text splitter. What this does, it divides like all the information documentation into smaller packages so that our vector base can read it, and our agent is more that is friendly to our agent. Okay, so then we select, and now we're going to set up all. This perfect. Always remember to save your projects. There are times that they don't even work because we have not saved and the project. So that is how the system will be set up. Okay, let's. Well, once we add our Google credentials, we have to leave this part in this way. This is the we have to have, and we have to select a folder. That this folder we will take from our Google Drive account. Now we are going to create it together. You are going to see this little blurry, and we are going to create a new folder that we are going to call it blue rag. Okay, rag. Okay, we the and ready. We are ready. We have our folder. This folder is going to be the folder that is going to be linked to this system. Okay, we enter and see that it was empty. We return to our node in NA10 and we select the folder that we just created, which is called Blue Rag. And ready. Look, here we have the correct folder. We select it and go to the watch for error, and we are going to select when a file is created. Okay, we go to options. We make sure that the file type is selected like everything all. We select all. This is important because each file that is added here is important that the system can recognize and convert it, upload it to our vector base and feed our agent. Okay, we save and run the node. It shows us a mistake because we run it. We don't have enough data. We don't have anything in our folder that the node can read. So we're going to upload one file. Let's see if it's already being uploaded, and simply drag and drop the file into the specific folder that you need. This agent and this specific system is for a store. It's called Blue Parrot. This store is in Colombia. Okay, let's review the information a little bit. This information is information that is available to the public, and let's remember that we want to make this as functional and applicable as possible to the world as possible. This information that the Blue Parrot brand has in its store and its website, which is a brand of household products. Okay, it's a Colombian brand. It's on its website, and all the information that they have published is directly connected. Okay, then ready. We go back to NA10 and we test the node. Look, in this case, it marks us in green because it has already detected that we have a new document in the folder. And perfect. The first node is not working, and we then have to set up our next step. And this will be through this node that we say was going to download the file, and we see that we already have information in the input and we want information in the output. We set up it and it connected to our accounts, and we leave this setup as it is, and we select bag ID. Okay, and the file name. This is going to be taken from a dynamic label that we have to search for here. We are going to search, and normally appears in space, but it can be in another. Okay, here it is. We have to search the named file, and we have to search the ID for this specific file. This is for so that every new file is uploaded, it is identified by its ID and its name. Okay, we test this step, and that That is, we already this output. We check, we check here and check that it is our file that we uploaded. The next step then will be connected to our vector base, and for that we're going to go to Pinecone page because I'm going to teach you how to create your own vector base in the cloud, with which you can give a use. We are already here in our Pinecone page. We are going to create our account from scratch together. Let's go. Because this is a very important step, and I'm going to teach you how to create an account and set up it so that you don't have any problems, and we are going to do everything from scratch. We are going to access with a new account. We are going to use a test account, and we continue. Here we are logging in, and look, important, as soon as you start, as soon as you open your account, it will generate an API. Okay, we are going to copy, and we are going to go directly to N8N. Okay, ready? We are here in N8N, and we are going to add the API that Pinecone just generate for us, and we are going to connect it as a new credential. I tell you, we already have our credential connected, but we want how to do this on your own. We add the connection here and click on save, and ready, connected. Then we return then to Pinecone because we have to continue setuping our vector base. We are on the same screen where we left. We need to create a new index, so we are going to create a new index for this project that is going to be where all the information that we add is going to be uploaded, and we are going to call it in this case, as we said, it was for the Blue Parrot store. It has to be in lowercase and without spaces. We are going to call it Blue Rag 1. This is going to be the name. Okay, step number 1. Step number 2, select a language model. In this case, we are going to use OpenAI. We're going to use this one specifically for this case, and for, well, we don't need more. Yeah, important here, we have to select these dimensions. Okay, we click on save, and that's it. We wait for it to load, and it ready. We have created a important step here. Remember the dimensions. You have to set up them and select the embedding model with OpenAI. You can select another, but you have to remember you need to have the same model both in your vector base and in your workflow. If not, it is not going to work. Okay, we see that our counter is at 0. It means that it doesn't have information, and we ready. We are back in N8N, and we are going to review the following. We are going to finish the setup. Let's open it and find the one we just created. Look, here it is, our index called Blue Rag 1. In this option, we have to select it and add 1536, which is the same number we have in our vector base. Done, save, and run the process to see what result we get. Alright, it's done. Everything executed correctly, and we already have the items in place. We didn't configure this part, so I added the items myself. The credentials are already connected, but I want us to go over everything first. Then we'll connect the rest all together. Alright, so now we come here to Pinecone, and under the information section, we can already see that we've received data. These are coming from the flow we built based on all the information we uploaded to our Google Drive folder. As we look here, we can see it returns 75 items, and they match what we have on the other side. So that tells us everything is working correctly. Let's continue with the setup and take a look at these three nodes because it's really important to have them configured correctly. We move on now with the configuration of the three pending nodes. We'll begin with the embedding model. In this case, we're using OpenAI. What we need to do here is simple, just add our passwords and account details. Right now, we're working with this one. Next is the language model. This part is very important. It has to be the same one you're using in Pinecone because if you choose a different one, the system will start giving you problems. So just keep that in mind. Once we have that configured, we move on to the next node, which is the default data loader. That's the documentation for our Pinecone node. When you open it, usually it looks like this. We're going to start it from scratch. First, you need to check that your configuration is set to binary. After that, we add the metadata by creating a property, giving it a name, and setting the value using the mapping option from the trigger. We look for the dynamic tag, and I'll explain what this is for. We need to find the document name, which in this case is, here it is. This dynamic tag is what lets us find our document in the Pinecone vector database. If we ever want to delete or remove it, we can do so from there, then we save. Configuring this node with these values is enough. Those are the necessary node values, along with chunk size and chunk overlap, which relate a bit more to Pinecone's programming and package sizes. With this, it's more than enough for our system. Now let's test it. And that's it. We already have the content working. The system is up and running, and we can see it's generating the information from the document. For example, we have complete details here, and one thing you need to watch out for, which I almost missed, is to make sure the data type is set to binary. Make sure it's selected correctly and don't choose JSON. Set up it this way and you can leave it like this. I already showed you where to get the dynamic tag. With this, we have the first part of the system set out, configured. So this is how our system looks now, ready to go. We'll mark it with green to show it's done. Okay, the color didn't change. Let's see it to green manually. We'll check mark and color it green. Perfect. Now we have everything ready. Our vector database, which is like the brain for the agent, is set up with the information it needs to connect through Telegram to the world. Next, we're going to move on to building system B, and I want us to do it from scratch as well. You're also going to learn how to create Telegram bots, which is pretty amazing and really interesting. So let's get started. All right, let's get it started with this. We have a blank canvas because we're going to create it from scratch together with me. The first step is to add a new message so we can configure it and have communication with people. We want to set it up for users who have the ability to use tools, and we'll configure it with define below. Let's save that. We already have the prompt ready. The prompt we're going to use in this case. Now we'll copy it here and review it. Remember, this prompt is focused on the table line stored in Colombia. We'll also leave the prompt down below in the resources in both Spanish and English. With the prompt ready, we move on to configuring the agent. This dynamic tag that appears in red comes from the input. We can simply grab it and place it here. This is one of the advantages of being part of the Meeting Well community. So if you want these and other resources, don't forget you can access them directly through the link down below. These dynamic stacks show up in red because they're not configured yet. We can delay them and set them up later. For now, let's move on to adding a chat model, the memory. This will be the input prompt here. We used to have a dynamic tag that we deleted because it's going to be added later. Okay, the prompt is already published and perfected so that our agent has a clear instructions on what to answer and how to do it. Now let's move on to giving it its tools, memory, and a messaging model. For that, we use OpenAI. We configure it by adding our accounts and leave it set up this way. There's no need for anything else for now. For the memory part, we use a simple memory and have it as defined below. We'll configure it more later. And for the tools, we move on to a tool called, where is it? Okay, is a special tool we need to configure. It requires a vector store, which in this case we decide will be Pinecone. Pinecone also needs an embedding model. And right now we're working with OpenAI. To finish up, we'll change the vector store model here to OpenAI as well. And that's how our second part of the system is set up. Let's start configuring it right away. We save and it is perfect. It's time to move forward. We already have our system set up. So now we'll configure the Telegram nodes. And at the end, I'll also show you how to create bots. We'll start configuring step by step, beginning by the language and embedding models. We check that they're connected properly to our accounts. And for the embedding model, we need to make sure it's connected to our account as well. And that it's the same one we're using everywhere in the configuration. Remember, if we select a different one, we'll run into problems. All right, moving on. We continue with our tool called answer question with a vector store, where the vector store is Pinecone. We have to give it a name, and we'll use the same one we created in Pinecone, Blue Rag 1. Okay. Then we add a prompt and a description of the data, and we already have that configured here. This dynamic tag is red again because the system isn't running yet and we don't have data. And well, we'll delete it and also remove the limit. Well, set the limit to 0, and that's important. We also need to rename that tool. I'll explain why we are renaming it. In our prompt, there's a specific instruction. There is that says to always check the vector database before answering any questions. This helps the agent know which tool to use. So we're going to copy that and rename the tool with this exact name. Okay, perfect. It's renamed now, so we save it. And in Paycom vector store, we check that our credentials are connected and that we have the index we created earlier, Blue Rag 1. Okay. At this point, this is we need configured for our agents tools. And great. Once the tool configuration is done, we move on to the memory setup. For the memory, we need the system to recognize a dynamic tag that has to go here, okay? Remember, by default, it comes like this, but we'll set it as defined below. We need a dynamic tag so the system understands the context window length, basically how many messages it can remember. I like to set it to 20, and that's good enough. And we save it. Once saved, we check that the model configured correctly and it looks good. Now we test the system and start filling it with the dynamic tags we need. And we see an error. So we give the input message to see if it responds. We test this step and we test this. And the problem was the agent's memory. Let's check again. Now that we have the memory configured, we save and test the agent again. And okay, perfect. It's working. Our agent is up and running. We test by writing anything to see if it responds with the info we need. Great. I think I found the issue. First, we didn't have a proper input tag, and we need to add the dynamic tag for the income message. We save it and check everything and test again. Okay. We open it and write hi. Okay. Perfect. It remembers my name and answers. Hi, Omar. Welcome to Blue Parrot, a corner of Colombian design. How can I help you today? Okay. Right. It's working correctly and giving us the info we asked for. So that's perfect. Remember, we can always configure it and improve this through the agent's prompt. So our last step is to connect it to Telegram, since the user will message it directly there, here in NI10, and that will be our final step. We see that it's working, and that's the advantage of building together, catching these little mistakes early and fixing them for you. Okay. All right, perfect. Our system is ready and working. Now we're going to connect it to the world. How? We say through Telegram. So we add the Telegram node and see it to activate when it receives a message. Okay. We configure our accounts. As you can see, they are already added and saved. Now you'll learn how to create a bot, which is very easy and straightforward. We connect it and save for it. Then move to Telegram to check and create your own bot. Here we are in Telegram. The only thing you have to do is find the username called botfather, start a chat, and when you do, it will ask you to select one of the options. Choose new bot. It will ask you for a name. We choose blue since it's for the Blue Parrot store, and a username. Okay, the first username was taken, so we have to choose Parrot Blue Bot. Okay, it then generates an access token, which you simply copy and paste into NA10. And when adding a new credential, with that, your own bot is fully connected to a Telegram node. Okay. Great. Once our first node, the Telegram input node, is configured, we need the output node for people to communicate. So we add another Telegram node that sends messages. Here we configure the chat ID, which we get from the dynamic tag, and in the text we take the output generated by the agent. Okay, perfect. We save and taste to see if it sends the information we need. Okay. We ask some questions like, hi, can I get information about your products? We wait for the response. Let's wait and see what it sent us. It's processing and we just got a response. Okay. It tells us they offer different designs and shipping times. And then it asks it if you need more information. Of course, it can help you. Now let's ask for a link and check it out. Right. All right, look, it's going to reply automatically after we hit start. Okay. Okay. It's thinking. Let's see what it answers. It asks what products we need. So we tell it we're looking for a green tablecloth. Okay, great. It checks that it's a green tablecloth and send us the purchase link for one. Okay, perfect. Now the work is done. Okay, imagine the potential and the time you'll save focusing your creativity on more productive things instead of just answering messages from people asking question after question. So you can have your own AI system connected to Telegram, WhatsApp, or really anywhere you need. Okay, providing customer support 24/7 without you being present from anywhere in the world. Okay, so with that, we conclude this video. If you want the full workflow step-by-step guide and the prompts we use in this video, uh, don't forget the link to the community is down below. The best automation community, Minted Wealth, waiting for you. We are going to start uploading a lot of quality content so you can learn and apply it to your projects or your clients' projects. My name is Martin, and it's been a pleasure.